All right, guys, we're gonna be playing around with the SCAR 20S today. I have a feeling this is gonna be a pretty good day. You ready?
Send them.
All right, we're gonna go all the way out to 500 just for fun here. Let's see, 3.3.
3.3.
3.3. We got the wind in our face, blowing right in our face. So why don't I go 3.4?
You do that. See where it hits and then correct.
You got it.
Oh, right over the top of the head.
Yep. I should have listened to my spotter. Okay.
Impact. Slightly left of center. Impact. Slightly left of center.
You got it.
Impact.
It is favoring the left, isn't it?
Yeah, that wind's kind of coming in at a little bit of an angle. Oh, just left. Wind picked up just a touch.
Yeah.
Impact. Good center shot. Impact. Impact. Good center mass hits. Impact. Impact. Favoring on the right side, that wind died down just a touch.
Yep, that wind is playing around a little bit. Well, guys, I know a lot of folks have been wanting us to check out the 20S. And look, ever since this thing initially came out, I know we were looking at early prototypes of this rifle at SHOT Show. And gosh, I want to say that was 4 or 5 years ago. So this thing's been a few years in the making in terms of its availability on the civilian market. It takes its lines from the Mark 20 SSR, which is the military version of this rifle that FM produces. This is the 20S, which is the civilian and law enforcement version, but they really all are pretty similar, okay? Some of the departures that it takes from the 17S, which is the 16.5-inch variant of the what they call the SCAR Heavy. I guess this would be the SCAR Heavier, all right, if you want to call it that. It does actually use a slightly heavier profile barrel. It is a free-floated 20-inch barrel with a 1 in 12 twist. It is chrome lined and cold hammer forged. So the barrels in these are excellent. It's threaded 5/8 by 24. In this case, we are wearing a AAC SDN6 with a 51 tooth adapter. A little bit older suppressor, but does the job pretty well. It's a little pitchy at the ear. I think Chad was saying this thing was coming in at around 141 at the ear, so it is a little pitchy at the ear. It is a piston operated system. We're using the suppressor setting. Now, the big difference between the 17S and the 20S is that when you look at the gas system on the 17S, it actually says, you know, suppressor. When you go to turn it, it has like an S setting for suppressor. On this one, it's not marked as such, but I have it in the same setting that is considered the suppressor setting on the 17S. And when you look at the literature that's included with the 20S, it doesn't say anything about suppressor settings. So I'm assuming it's a suppressor setting. It is not gassy at all. It is not gassing me back in the face or anything with it. So I'm assuming that's turning down the gas a bit. The gas plug does come out for maintenance and obviously all that sort of stuff. It is a long stroke piston operated system with a very heavy, massive bolt. That's one of the things about the SCAR that's a pretty distinctive feature is the very large bolt carrier. It's very massive, and the mass, you know, has to do with the way that it cycles and everything like that. The handle is reciprocating. Some folks have had a few minor issues with charging handles snapping on SCARs, so just keep that in mind. If you are going to buy a SCAR, I'd strongly recommend keeping an extra charging handle laying around, maybe an extra firing pin and extractor can't be a bad thing. Parts availability is a little spotty. That's one of my minor disappointments with the SCAR system. The parts are out there, but they can be kind of hard to get, and they are very expensive. I mean, a firing pin for a SCAR is going to cost you about $40 versus an AR can, you know, be as cheap as what, $9 or $10 or $5 if you buy a cheap firing pin. So everything on this gun is more expensive than other guns that are out there. The guns themselves are pretty pricey. However, they are very high quality units. The upper assembly is this big extrusion of aluminum. That's one area on this rifle that you start to get away from the 17S. The 17S has a very shorter receiver section, which cuts down on the weight and everything like that. Now, there's companies that make a wide variety, get out of here, Wasp, a wide variety of different extended rail sections for the 17S that you can get. On this one, they go full Monty and they go ahead and bring that rail section all the way out in one monolithic, dare I say, piece of alloy that's just a big extrusion. The gun, despite being a 20-inch with a relatively heavy barrel, and this one doesn't have the folding stock mechanism, it does use an aluminum stock, it is a little bit on the heavier side. But for a gun with its features and what it does, it's an exceptional shooting rifle. You've got sling points on the left side of the gun. Right here, we've just got, you know, Magpul sling with the little clips, whatever. Okay, and those lock into place. So you got your sling points up on the front and rear. You've got Picatinny rail all the way around this bad boy, left and right, top and bottom, full pick rail. So if you want to run your thermal clip-ons, night vision clip-ons, this gun will do it. It ships with 10-round magazines, okay? It also takes 20-round SCAR magazines as well. So don't think that just because they show it with a 10-round mag, that it doesn't accept the 20-round SCAR mags. I mean, you can use 50-round drums in this gun as well, no problem. And I think it's safe to say with a rifle like this, even in a semi-automatic category, these rifles really, in my opinion, can really be treated like precision rifles. I mean, this is not a rifle you would take out and just dump mag after mag after mag and like machine gun it or, you know, go crazy with it. This is a precision rifle that's capable of some pretty decent feats of accuracy. In fact, what I was getting on that plate earlier at 5 wasn't even indicative of what we normally get out of this rifle. We were out shooting it the other day and I was pulling headshots off on the silhouette, no problem. We might try that here in a minute. But definitely not bad. We're running 175 grain match today. This is a federal gold medal match. I've run 168s and 175s. Both my SCAR 17S and my 20S both stabilized 175 grain gold medal match just fine. So getting back to the rear, back to the rifle itself, you do have an ambi magazine release. Okay, this is your buffer here. That's your port buffer. Okay. When you have an ejection and everything. You got a Hogue grip that came standard on this rifle. I didn't upgrade this, it came with it. It also has a super SCAR trigger standard. Okay, so they use the Geissele SCAR trigger as a standard feature on this particular rifle. They get away from the folding stock mechanism on this one. The prototype at SHOT Show that I looked at seems like it had a folding mechanism. I'd have to refer back to that video. It's been a minute. But this one uses a fixed stock. You've got adjustable length of pull, okay? Various positions there, so you can adjust your length of pull. And you've also got adjustable comb height, okay? So that really gives you more of a target precision. Now, because this optic is sitting so low, we have the cheek piece kind of like all the way in the bottom position. But if you're running a slightly higher mount, or say you're running clip-ons that require maybe a little bit higher height on the scope, you can bring that up, okay? There's also a Picatinny section that's on the rear of the stock here on the bottom. So if you want to run like a monopod or something like that, that's what that's intended for. A lot of folks ask, why is that there? That's for a monopod. Other than that, it's a highly accurate SCAR, and really the 17S is a really accurate rifle in its own regard. It really is. I love my 17. In a future video, we're going to be comparing the guns directly, and we're going to be taking them out to some obscene, stupid ranges. We are going to be shooting this gun out to 750 yards today before the end of the video. We're running a Leupold Mark 6. This is setting in a spur mount, and the spur mounts are neat because these spur mounts have the little anti-cant bubble in here. So that helps for some of your long range shots where you want to make sure the gun is level. So you're removing an additional variable from the long range scenario. A little bit of cant in the rifle can equate to a little bit of discrepancy downrange. So by ensuring that the gun is level for every shot, you're removing one more variable from the equation when it comes to your long range shots. This is a 3-18 Leupold Mark VI, and this particular optic has the Horus H59 reticle in it. It's a grid style milling, tactical milling reticle, and it's a great reticle. I like it. I've always liked the H59s, and this is a nice pairing for this rifle. It's not overly heavy, it just does the job. So we're gonna shoot the gun a little bit more. We'll talk about it a little bit more as we go. One other distinct feature I noticed that is a difference between the 17S and this one is also the way that the barrel mounts into the action. You take these screws off and these guys on the side right here pop off and you can pull the barrel. I notice on this one, I don't know if there's more surface area that the screws dig into or if maybe there's additional spots that barrel's held in at, but I noticed that these tabs here on the side that are screwed into the barrel to hold the barrel in place, that there's just physically more mass here, and it looks like there's like either 1 or 2 extra screws. Okay, so that adds a lot more rigidity. This is a free-floated barrel inside of this action here, so we're gonna have a little fun. And I guess let's go after those headshots we promised, Chad. The wind's died down a little bit. Let's see if we can get that wind not messing with us. And guys, look, I mean, we could shoot this thing out like 100, 200, 300 yards. We may not even bother because this thing is such a tack driver. We're getting at least minute, if not sometimes sub-minute groups out of this gun at 100. So we're talking an auto loader with a heavy barrel that will shoot MOA or better with good ammunition. Pretty cool.
Indeed.
And the Geissele trigger is definitely the icing on the cake on this gun. Okay, so we're gonna stick with 3.3. That wind was blowing pretty hard earlier.
Yeah, it's right in our face still, just a touch, so.
Okay.
Spot her up. Okay. You missed on the right side, slightly low that time.
Oh, well, I held for a bit of wind. Oh well. Let's see.
Impact. Looked like you were on the slightly right side of the gong, center mass. Impact, center mass. Right over the top of the head.
I was aiming at the head.
Yep, slightly right.
Okay.
Just right of the head. Just right of the head, same place.
Okay.
Right past the head again. On the right. You're literally like shooting in that little pocket right there on the shoulder, on the right side. There you go. You're kind of back down there, center mass. That wind picked up just a touch. Impact. Yep, center mass on the right. I mean,
Okay.
it'll get out there, but remember that target's 4 inches, so that's sub MOA.
Yeah, that's a tiny target. Tell you what, just a couple more rounds.
It's tiny.
So we've got another piece of property that we're going to be doing a couple of videos on, and we'll be shooting out to some pretty obscene ranges when we do it.
At least 1,200, possibly.
Yeah, 1,200 yards. I mean, for a 308, that's a pretty long way, man.
You know, that particular load goes transonic well before that.
Oh yeah.
But just right. You're favoring center mass just right on the right edge. Impact, low center. Impact, center mass.
I mean, this thing is just stupid fun to shoot.
I mean, when we were shooting out the 750 the other day, I mean, it was just, once we got our hold, man, and got the wind, it was just hammering.
We're gonna take it out to 750 again today, and then hopefully in a future video, like I said, we'll take it out to some longer ranges. I wanted to do just kind of a quick expose on this rifle because I I've been sort of, I've been kind of eyeballing one of these for a couple of years, and I just haven't had the change. And Brandy finally gave in and let me buy one.
Got to whip out the plastic.
Yeah, I know.
Bye.
It's Atlas bipod that we're running on this particular rifle as well. So, I mean, the cool thing about this gun that I like a lot is the fact that it's an out-of-the-box, ready-to-go rifle. All you gotta do is put an optic on it or whatever you want. I mean, if you want a sling, you don't have to put a sling on it. You can literally put an optic on this gun, rest it on some bags, and go out and start ringing steel at 800 yards if you want, which to me, I mean,
well, the thing is, we set that gun up and took it out, and literally the first few shots out of it shot groups, and it was 1 MOA right out of the box.
yep,
You know,
it was.
heck, it's just barely broken in now. at this
I know,
point.
I know.
All right, send it when you're ready. Impact. Impact. Favoring on the left side, center mass. Impact. Impact. Just high center. Impact. 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 All center mass hits. Impact. Impact.
I'm trying to relatively keep somewhat the same point of aim, just trying to keep at least around somewhere into a group.
Those last, that last group that you shot is definitely MOA. I mean, it's right there, center mass.
Like the size of a fist, maybe
well,
a little
like
bit bigger.
5 inches maybe.
Okay,
but
cool.
it's definitely able to hold MOA
Oh,
as
yeah,
long as
yeah.
you do your part.
I'm totally happy with that. I mean, for my purposes, 5 inches at 500 yards out of an auto loader, yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I'll tell you what, we're gonna let the gun cool down a little bit, and we'll take it up to 750 yards. So we're gonna get a little bit further on the distance here. This is gonna be a little weird because we have to shoot in a different direction to do that, so it makes our wind holds a little bit different. So let's try that. All right, we're gonna take the 20S out to 750 yards, same ammo, same gun, same configuration. We're gonna dial up to 6.8 mils. That's what it's showing today. For today's weather conditions, 6.8. All right, 750. It's a long way for an auto loader. Hopefully we'll be able to connect here.
Hopefully so. Let me get behind the spot and scope.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right.
I'm just gonna aim right at it.
Yep, send it when you're ready.
Just to the left.
Yep. Elevation looked great.
Yep.
Oh, you're just gonna dial over instead of hold?
Yep.
Impact. You're at 4 o'clock, low right. Impact. Just below that shot. Just right. May have dialed a little bit too far. Wind is changing a little bit, Eric, so you may have to wind up moving your hold just a touch.
I know. I just noticed earlier, even without any wind, it seems like it was just maybe favoring just a little bit over. So I'm just,
Okay.
all right, so from here I'll hold, but
All right,
let me just see if maybe that brought it where I want it.
sure thing.
Now, this thing is stupid accurate. Those 3 shots had to have been within
They
5-6 inches of each other.
Yeah, that last shot was just off the plate, probably 6 inches away from the other 2. Those first 2 shots, though, man, they stacked right on top of each other.
Down on the bottom again?
Yeah, it's right at the bottom at 6 o'clock.
All right, I'm gonna hold then.
Okay.
for the wind. Because
Sure.
the wind is blowing from my back this way.
Yeah.
Is the Mirage going left to right down there?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You gonna hold up about a tenth of a mil?
Yep.
Okay. Impact, center mass. Impact, center mass. Oh, you're like stacking them right on top of each other, man. Impact.
This sucker is so accurate, it's not even funny.
Those last 3 shots were like that.
I know. It's sub-minute. A sub-minute auto loader,
But yeah,
guys.
when you got that hole, those 5 shots there were, I mean, God, that's a 22-inch blade, so I'd say just guesstimating, that's probably a 7-inch group.
Well, I'm gonna keep that same point. We're just gonna keep lobbing them in. So we do have a couple of different auto loaders on the way to test, guys. We're gonna be doing a video on a Daniel Defense auto loader in 308. I'm gonna try to go with something with a slightly longer barrel. And I know we're also gonna be doing some work with some stuff from POF, something in the Revolution line more than likely. So we'll probably do some videos at some point where we really compare some of these 308 auto loaders. Because I think it's safe to say that a lot of companies, whether it's Daniel Defense, FN, POF, LWRC, I mean, all these guys are making awesome rifles.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's just so many great options out there. And then the stuff that's available for the builders too, guys. I mean, people that are wanting to, you know, assemble an AR with good components, there's just no excuse to not have an accurate auto loader these days.
It's probably every single day I see somebody who's building something on like an Aero 308 builder's kit, you know?
Yep.
I mean,
But if it works, man.
if it works, it works. Impact. 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 Who needs a spotter? It's ridiculous.
Get some of that.
Most of those last shots were going like in a fist
I know.
size, you know, group.
I'm watching them. Dude, I mean, what more does this gun need to do? Whew, buddy.
All right, so you're doing so well on that big gong, we got to shoot that half-size D28. It's a little bit smaller target.
How about the popper on the right?
Well, I don't think it's in the camera shot down there.
Oh,
to be
okay.
honest
Well,
with
then
you.
we'll do the gong on the right then.
Yeah, you can try making a 4-inch headshot, a half MO headshot.
I mean, as long as I can do my part, the gun, man. All right, 10 more shots, guys.
Yeah.
So what this whole thing is alluding to is we're gonna do some longer range work with the SCARs, both the 17S and the 20S. We'll compare those in a video. And then we're gonna have review, I use the word review lightly. We don't really review guns, but we're gonna show off a Daniel Defense offering as well as a POF offering. I think that's only fair because we want to be able to compare apples to apples and, you know, in terms of good guns and everything. And we'll just kind of see where it all goes, you know, compare price. You start comparing metrics such as price, parts availability, accuracy, quality of components, quality of construction. And then you start kind of drawing some conclusions about where the best money is in terms of what it's being spent on. I mean, guys, it's not a cheap gun. You know what I mean? These rifles are expensive. But, I mean, look at the performance. So it, you know, it all comes down to what you want to do. I didn't slap that mag in very hard. The bolt wasn't to the rear. There we go.
Didn't you read the manual?
I know. What's wrong with me?
Call.
All right, so we're going for the...
For the half-size D28 there. That's
Okay.
a 12 by 20 inch target at 750 yards. Ooh, yeah, and the wind too. Yeah, buddy.
It's okay.
All right, send it
I
when
ain't
you're ready.
scared, boy.
I ain't scared. Just left. Looked like good elevation. Just left again, it looked like.
Oh, the wind must have died down a little. Okay.
Yeah, just hold on the right edge, or maybe a little bit off. Impact. Right in the neck, high center. That was, actually, I think that may have been a headshot. Impact. You're high on the plate, kind of favored on the left side.
I'm aiming at the head.
Up. Impact, that was center mass. Impact. Impact, headshot. Right over the top of the head. Right over the top.
I'm telling you right now, if you're down there having a coffee and that round zips over the top of your head, you're not going to be there.
You're not going to be there having no more coffee.
Buddy. I mean, that is a tiny target.
That is a small target.
It really
man.
is a small target because that's approximating a full-size silhouette, a full-size standing person at what? Longer range? That's the whole idea of a
about
reduced...
double the range.
Yeah,
more or
about double
less,
the
yeah.
range.
It's like it's a 66%, I think, IPSC. So you're talking adding another,
400
40
yards.
Yeah, 40%. So
Yeah.
probably another 50.
So it'd be about like shooting 1,200,
yeah,
1,200 yards.
maybe.
Neat.
Maybe something like that.
Well,
I
guys,
can't do the math in front of my head.
we hope you guys enjoyed this video. We wanted this to be just sort of a first look at the 20S. We are going to do the 17S and the 20S together in a video. We'll take them out to some stupid long ranges. Also, you'll be hopefully seeing some comparison shots of the two so you can see how they're similar and different. I want to thank you all for watching today. All of our Patreon supporters, thank you guys so very much for supporting what we do, seeing value in what we do. Y'all are awesome. Thank you very much. All of the folks who purchased man cans to support the channel, thank you guys so very much for the support. It means a lot to me and my family and the people that rely on me directly. And guys, especially if you buy t-shirts, merch over on the website, if you love the channel and you want to directly financially support what we do, those are some of the most direct ways that you can support us. Thank you so very much. We have many more videos on the way. We'll see you next time.